Training camp's done. Preseason done. The only time you saw Jalen Hurts on the field, he was only completing passes. 6 for 6, 80 yards and a touchdown. That was his preseason. Great reports out of training camp. You had his coach come out and talk about how he had the greatest practice ever in the 2 years that Nick Sirianni has been there. Greatest training camp practice ever. Oh, he didn't qualify by saying training camp. He said greatest practice ever by Jalen Hurts. Look, I talk about all the time how Jalen Hurts is an easy guy to root for. And I think this year he will earn a contract extension with Philadelphia Eagles. I think between the work he's put in the offseason and that work coming to fruition this season, he will be the guy for the foreseeable future. I don't see the Eagles drafting a quarterback with one of their first-round picks next year in that draft. They're going to go out, they're going to get somebody else to be the backup and all that stuff. That's fine. They might draft somebody later in the draft. That's fine. I doubt it with Carson Strong probably being on the practice squad. But the way I see it shaking out is that with the players around him, with what Howie Roseman has put around him, with another year in Nick Sirianni's system, and what I saw from him last year, he gets better by default by having that system again and having better talent around him this year and another stud offensive line. That doesn't, when I say the talent, I'm not just referring to A.J. Brown being here or Zach Pascal being here. I'm also talking about the offensive line. Then Jalen Hurts is going to have himself a pretty solid year. He has a pretty solid year, even. Not a phenomenal, though. He doesn't have to be in the top 10 in passing and completion percentage and touchdown passes and bottom 10 in the interceptions thrown. He doesn't have to be in the top 5. He probably will be in the top 5 rushing quarterbacks, but he doesn't have to be. But he just goes out there, he wins football games. He plays above the level of game manager. He's going to be back next year on a big contract. I don't think it's going to be $40 million. I don't think he's going to see a $200 million deal or anything like that, but he's going to see himself a big contract that will bring him back. That, if you're asking me my prediction for the season now that training camp's done, Jalen Hurts will not only be the starting quarterback this year, he'll be the starting quarterback next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. That's what he will earn after this season. That's my confidence in the organization, the coach, the players around him, and most importantly, the player himself, Jalen Hurts. For what he did in the offseason, the work he put in, and that actually bearing fruit when the season starts. That's my prediction for the upcoming season. And through the third quarter and the fourth quarter of Saturday night's preseason finale, all I could do was think about how this team was going to approach the regular season and what type of year they were going to have. Because I was kind of done concentrating on the football game itself and thinking about, okay, all right, we see what they're doing there on the sideline. I see Jalen Hurts walking around, see Jalen Hurts giving interviews. That's all great. Thinking about the practice, the week of practice leading up to it, thinking about Nick Sirianni's statement about greatest practice ever, thinking about Jalen Hurts and the conversations he was having with Tua last year after a joint practice with the Falcons. Hey, what can you give me on the Falcons? We got them week 1. Tell me, Tua, tell me. It was interesting. And I was thinking about how good I think this football team is going to be. I've given you before, I see them winning at least 11 games this year. They could very well win 12. They could very well win 13. I think the Eagles are going to win this division. I know some other people are starting to come around to that idea that this team is going to be the team to beat in the NFC East. We talked about last week's comments with LaShawn McCoy. Saw some other people throw some adulation at the Eagles for what they could do in the upcoming season, not just in the division, but win a playoff game or 2. I know we will all welcome that with open arms. But all in all, the Eagles, not just away from Jalen Hurts for a second, but just talk about them as an entire team coming out of this training camp, coming out of this preseason, excuse me. I think while a lot of us, the vast majority of us, will be concentrating on the evaluation process of Jalen Hurts, I do think, despite a 48-point preseason finale, this defense is going to be a force to be reckoned with.